Hi, this is Katie Johnson. We're going to do another example from the catalog. This is the 2019-2020 catalog that retires the end of May. The card I'm going to copy today is from page 140. I'm going to be using the Two Wild Rose stamp set, which is not retiring, and I'm going to make this card up here because I want to show you two things about that card. I want to show you how we get this overlay using masking. And then I also want to talk to you about the sentiment right here, because what we see on the card is the words hello friend. When I look at the stamp set, I see one stamp that says hello, and the word friend is part of something larger. So let me just show you how I did this. I've assembled the materials I think I need, which is black cardstock for this right here. I need a white card base, and then it looks to me, I don't know how well you can see, but it's actually on a separate piece of white cardstock just layered on the white, so that's fine. I'll bring out another small piece of white, and then I'm going to need some scrap pieces of white for these leaves because these leaves are cut out. I'm going to need some orange ink for the flower itself, and I'm going to use Calypso Coral. I also will need something to cut out this circle, and so I'm using the 2-inch circle punch. Lots of our dies have circles in them, and we have a set of nesting circle dies. I'm going to need some green. I decided I'm going to color it with my light old olive Stampin' blends, and what else do I need? Oh, I'm going to need some white embossing powder. So I've laid my card sample up in the corner so we can keep an eye on that as we construct the card. All right, here's a large piece of white that I can use to do the stamping on, and here's a smaller piece of white that I can use to stamp these leaves. My stamp set is a photopolymer stamp set, which means that it's see-through, which is nice for lining things up. Looking at this stamp set a little bit more closely, not only does it have the stamp that's got the veining in it, it also has some stamps that are fillers. So when I looked at that in the catalog, my first thought was, oh, I'll get out my blender or my alcohol marker and color those leaves, but I actually think I'm just going to stamp them instead. This is my Stampin' Pierce pad. I just always feel like I get a better ink coverage when I use that as a base rather than just stamping on my hard desk surface. I'm going to do one of each because I have not tried this before I turned on my video camera, and I do not know how they're going to turn out. However, it looks a little dark, and I think I want to stamp off before I come over. Oh, that's pretty. So I'm going to cut these out off camera. Bringing my scrap paper back in here. This is going to be my card front. How can I do that? There we go. And once again, this is one of those 3-step stamp sets. So I've got the line image right here. And then I've got 2 filler images to use. And it looks as though it was stamped with the one that's got more detail. Can you see it right here? Probably for the dark orange, and then this one that's more full for the lighter orange. So I'm going to use both of them on this one that's going to get cut, the top one over here. The lesson of this video is masking, because it looks to me as though this is all one layer. If I had it in my hand, I imagine that I would be able to run my finger down here and not feel any difference in height. When you do masking, the image that appears as the top image, layer-wise, visually, is the first one that you stamp, and then you mask it, and I will show you what I mean. I'm going to use a Post-it note as my mask. And I like to stamp up close to where the sticky part is. All right, now I'm going to need to cut that out. All right, this is going to be my mask. And when you cut the mask, you want to cut right along the line itself. You don't want to go outside the line. What this mask is going to do is it's going to prevent the flowers that appear to be behind. It's going to catch some of the ink from that stamp, and then it will look like the one we do first is on top. So now I want to visually check it just to make sure that I haven't left any yellow of the Post-it note outside the lines of the flower. And I want to check it and make sure that I still have some of the sticky part here because I'll need that to adhere it to my project. If I go back and look at the sample that I'm trying to follow, this flower appears to be right about in this area of the card. So I'm going to stamp that first. And since I missed the middle last time, I'm just checking visually on the back to make sure that I've got good ink coverage. All right, that is going to be the one that will be orange. And then I need to stamp, it looks like there's one more flower down here and one more flower up here, which visually appear to be behind this one. So what I'm going to do is to use this mask that I've cut out and line it up to cover, and basically I'm protecting that image that I've already got down there. And now I can come back and add a couple more flowers, but you see how that Post-it note is going to actually catch some of the ink. Let me finish up this other one and then you'll see what I mean. So the Post-it note has caught some of the ink, and now these two flowers appear to be behind that first one that I did. All right, I want to put that Post-it note back on because something similar happened with the leaves up here. I am going to stamp off again. This is the beauty of the photopolymer stamps, is that you can look through them to get things lined up. Right, I'm done with my mask on this card, but I'm actually going to keep this and not throw it away because I might use it again for another card sometime. So I'm just going to keep it in the box with the stamps. This is the more detailed one, so it'll be the dark color on here. Oh, now I got to get it lined up right. There we go. Oh, that's pretty. I'll be using the same color ink pad, but I'm going to stamp off because I want it to be lighter in ink than that. That's a first iteration. That's a second one. That's a third. I think I like it light like that. That kind of matches more what the project looks like. One, two, and three on my project. Oh, golly, that's pretty. That turned out really nice. I like that. Okay, so now my words. This is to be your friend. And remember, I just want the word friend. And then I also want the hello. I'm going to punch my circle first, and then I'm going to stamp on the circle. Now, Stampin' Up! Actually does make a white ink. I don't think it's going to show up intense enough for me. I think I'm going to be happier if I heat emboss it. So I do have my white embossing powder ready to go. All right, the critical part is getting just the word friend inked up. And I love the fact that it's photopolymer because it's real easy for me to just look through it and ensure that I only have ink on the word friend. Then I'm going to turn it over and use my fingers and just catch the edge of that that other word, the letter in the other word, just to make sure that it's clean and doesn't have any ink on it. Yeah, I think it's going to pop more if it's heat embossed. So it looks like I did catch a little bit of that R there, but I can come back and brush that off before I heat emboss it and it won't show. Heat emboss it real quick and then come back and add the hello. All right, so actually, by heat embossing it ahead of time, that gives me a chance to show you the difference between the plain white ink and something that has been heat embossed. All right, here is my word hello. See the difference that the heat embossing makes? Things are coming together nicely. The next step is going to be to cut out these leaves. All right, I have both of the leaves cut out, and you can see I wasn't real careful down there on the end because it's going to go behind that circle, and so I actually would like to have a little extra bulk on the leaf for the adhesive to hold it on. The other thing I should point out is that this does have a matching die set. There is a matching set of dies that goes with this, and if you happen to have a die cut machine, well, then that's perfect. You won't have to do any fussy cutting. So I'm just adding some adhesive behind here, and let's clear this up a little bit so I can see my image again. So these are going to kind of come off in that direction. And then the other set of leaves. Now, here's the interesting thing. I noticed they have this leaf hanging off the edge of the card, but if I'm going to mail that, I can't do it that way. So if it's going to be on the card, which is going to go in the mail, then I'm going to have to put this up a little bit higher. Actually, I like the color balance that way a little bit better anyway. Okay, let's put the pieces together. This is almost done. And I'm going to raise this up on dimensionals. And I want to use enough that I don't feel like this is going to be wobbly on the front of the card. So let's see, I think this can fit in here. If I want one more over here, I'm going to have to go with something a little smaller. So I'm going to find an edge piece right there. These tear real nicely. So I just pulled off one from the edge. I'm going to use that there. Okay, that should give some good stability. This is my take your pick tool, and it's just perfect for pulling all these release papers off. This is a pretty good approximation of the sample that was in the catalog. They've used a little bit of bling on here, and actually I'm going to go back and use some bling also because I put rhinestones on everything. And this take your pick tool is perfect for helping to position the rhinestones. So now I have to decide where I want them. I'm going to put one over here. I like them at least in groups of 3, otherwise in groups of odd numbers. I only have small ones left on this card. I'm going to see if I can get a bigger one from another card. Here we go. Because I think I want one big one just down by the sentiment. So like right here. Here's my catalog case using the To a Wild Rose stamp set from page 140 of the retiring catalog. And I can always go back and do one more thing to spiff things up. I like to use the Wink of Stella pen. And I'm just going to add some sparkle to this colored flower. I see some yellow in the center of the flower. I'm going to come back with a blender pen and add some yellow in here. All right, I don't know how well this shows up on camera, but this turned out so pretty. I added that Wink of Stella to the petals, and they just sparkle, and with the glimmer paper, or the rhinestones on here, this one turned out real pretty. It is so fun to use the catalog as a model for making a project. Now, if you don't have the catalog, shoot me an email or leave a comment. We'll figure out a way to get the catalog to you. I'm also going to put a link to the catalog. You can download your own copy, PDF copy of this catalog. I'll put that up in the description up above. And if you need any products, please let me know. If you have any questions about this card or about anything that you see in the catalog, I am happy to help you figure it out. I will also put a shopping link up there if there's any product that you need. I am happy to be your demonstrator and help you out in any way that I can. Thanks for watching.